What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mike and Ant podcast. I am your host, Ant, and I'm with the other half, Mike. What's good?
Just chilling, man. Let's get into this Bill Belichick talk, man.
Yeah, so apparently there's some leaks in the Hall of Fame because we don't know who's in, but we do know. But for some reason, somebody leaked out that Bill Belichick and Eli Manning will not be getting into the Hall of Fame. Eli, I'm not really. I mean, I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. You and I, we've discussed Eli. We both thought he was getting in, but you feel like he shouldn't have been a Hall of Famer. Me personally, I'm kind of on the fence. Because like we're saying that all that matters is the playoffs and Super Bowls. Then I think he should be in. Because he's one of the greatest playoff quarterbacks ever. But if we're gonna include like regular season, then I agree he shouldn't be in.
Yeah,
As far as for Belichick though, that's the one that just blows my mind. He won six rings as a head coach, two rings as a defensive coordinator with the Giants back in the day.
yep.
So he has eight rings. So if eight rings doesn't is not enough for you to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, then nobody is. And take the players out of it, but just look at the other coaches. This year, you had Mike Shanahan that was nominated, Tom Coughlin was nominated, George Seifert was nominated, Mike Holmgren was nominated. So it's like if Belichick can't get in, then none of those coaches stand a chance.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, yo, not while they're alive. If he's not
Uh,
a first ballot Hall of Famer, then I mean, it's good. It's gonna be a long time.
yeah, and then Tom Coughlin won two Super Bowls as an assistant because he was also an assistant with those '80s Giants with Belichick, and then he won two more as a head coach of the Giants.
Yep.
So he has four, and then George Seifert has five. He won three as a assistant coach under Bill Walsh, and then when Bill Walsh retired, he won two more as the head coach with the Niners.
Yeah.
So George Seifert has five, and then Mike Holmgren, he only won one Super Bowl, but he's one of three coaches to take two different franchises to the Super Bowl. And the other two, Don Shula did it with the Colts and Dolphins. Bill Parcells did it with the Giants and Patriots. Those two are already in the Hall of Fame. But so Mike Holmgren, you would think he'll be next, but if Belichick can't get in,
Mm.
then none of those coaches can get in. And then that's not even including coaches who are still coaching.
Yep.
Because
And
it's like
Belichick
no
has
matter what you
six.
do, yeah, no
But
matter what you do, it's like your resume ain't gonna be as good as Belichick.
I think Belichick has six Super Bowls as a head coach.
Yeah.
Like, you
Like
notice
you
how
know,
many of those guys you got to name off? Two assistants, one is as a head coach. He has more than most of these guys. All these guys pretty much have total, right? And we could throw his Giants ones away, right? If he's not a first ballot guy, you guys got to be like what 25 ballot. You wait until you die,
well, yeah,
unless
I mean,
unless
he's really 74. I mean, how much more you gonna take him wait?
unless people want to go back to our videos and understand that we already told them this. Coaches should be separate from players. Um, Special teams probably as well. They should be separate brackets, not separate going like once they're there. But it shouldn't take from the 8 players you put in. You know what I'm saying? And then you also gotta maybe like separate because I seen some people saying that some of these people it's like their last year of eligibility. I didn't even know there was a last year. But
Yeah,
if
some of these players, sorry to cut you off. Like some of
uh,
these players from the 70s, like LC Greenwood and Ken Anderson, I think this is like their last year. So that was part of the reason because some people they didn't vote in Belichick, they voted for one of those two guys just to try to get them in. And it's
yeah,
like they played in the 70s. Like if they haven't gotten in at this point, then like you said, they're not Hall of Famers. And then for LC Greenwood, I mean, no disrespect, but the man's been dead for like 15 years. So if you vote him in, like he's not even here to even celebrate it. So
yeah.
who's gonna be his grandkids, great grandkids?
I don't know. The thing that just sounds flawed to me. It's like, like after all right, so I look at it like this. You need to separate some things. Like after, say if somebody hasn't got in 20 years, whatever, they should just be in a different bracket. Like after a certain amount of time, because realistically, and I don't want to disrespect anybody that passed on because some of these people could have been great. I obviously didn't see them play, way ahead of my time, right? But
Yeah.
the thing is, after like, say if you're up for a Hall of Fame for 20 years and you don't get in, maybe they should just put you in. It shouldn't take from anybody else because it's technically kind of like a sympathy achievement at that point, you know. So it's like once you hit your deadline, just put them in, like, and vote for, you know, because this really should be about getting these players in the Hall of Fame while they're still alive. Like
Well, we
that should
talked about it like initially when they released the candidates, the nominees, I should say. They had guys like Darren Woodson who played in the '90s, Lomas Brown that also played in the '90s, and they're not getting in. But here they're trying to get some of these guys from the '70s in,
be.
and so it's like we're still trying to get guys who played in the '70s in the Hall of Fame. So by the time we even get around to guys like Darren Woodson who played in the '90s,
Yeah,
he might just like with LC Greenwood, he might be dead and gone.
yeah. It doesn't. It kind of does. It's just it's a flawed system, and I think that they're probably gonna finally start taking steps towards trying to fix it, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think they should. I agree with you. Coaches and special teamers and even owners, they should be separate because now all of a sudden there's a wave of people trying to get Robert Kraft in at the last minute. And like he wasn't even on the initial list. So I don't know if they're trying to do it because now his team's in the Super Bowl, but now people are trying to get him in the Hall of Fame. And I just think they all should be separate. And then I also agree with you. If now all of a sudden you want to try to get some of these guys who played back in the '70s in the Hall of Fame, not only does it they need to change it because they should be in a separate category. Because now, if you put one of these guys who played back in the '70s in, then who's going to be left out in as far as like the modern era?
Yeah,
No, we already talked about Torrey Holt. He's been waiting for 15 years. Reggie Wayne's another one's been waiting. And so, are we going to make them wait longer so we can get some of these guys who played back in the '70s in there?
yeah. Apparently we are, but long story short, they need to just change it. Like I said, I don't even know why they limited themselves on how many people they could put in. That's where the problem starts. But if you want to limit it, all right, 8 players, do the coaches and special teams separate. And people that's been waiting for 20 years shouldn't even be on the original panel. They should just be on like the slide through the back door entrance. You good?
Yeah, see, I saw today that the reason why they have a limit on how many people get in is because they don't want the Hall of Fame ceremony to take all day with like all the speeches and shit, which I understand, but they should think about doing the WWE model, which is just make it a 2 night event.
Yeah, for sure. Cap people's speeches. It is what it is. Give them all 3 minutes. You could shorten it. You know what I'm saying? Either way, you're telling me that you want dudes to die before they get into the Hall of Fame because you're worried about the length of speeches. Come on, it's like it's just figure it out.
Yeah,
Especially hold on. One more thing. Especially how long them motherfuckers drag out the draft. Cut the cap.
yeah. No, I was
Just
gonna say like I don't want people thinking like we're hating on LC Greenwood. He was part of that dynasty of the 1970s Steelers, and a lot of them are already in the Hall of Fame. I think the Steelers, those '70s Steelers had like the most people in the Hall of
yeah,
like any era.
yeah,
So I mean, like you said, obviously none of us were born in the '70s. We didn't watch back then,
yeah,
but I mean, the man's been dead for a long time, and
yeah.
so I don't understand why the push now all of a sudden to try to get him in
I I would say yeah, that what people gotta understand is listening, it wasn't meant to disrespect him. It's telling you that he should have been in. Like
before he
he's
died, at least.
yeah, like we're talking about there's no reason for him to wait this long. It's the same reason why Tory Holt shouldn't be waiting this long or Wayne or whatever. Bottom line is if they fix the system, he wouldn't be waiting. Like he would have been in 30, 40 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm saying all these guys that they have sat on the back of that list that are from the 70s and 80s, just put them in. Clear that room. Just put them in. It shouldn't just throw them, especially people that passed away and stuff, what speeches are we talking about?
That's what I'm saying. Like, who's gonna make the speech? Is his
Yeah, just
grandkids?
yeah, just announce that they're in. You know what I'm saying? Put them in, get so we can get to, even if you wanted to put in the 70s, 80s, and 90s and just put all those guys in so we could start fresh. I wouldn't be opposed to that, but you got to start getting forward so we could get these late 90s, 2000s, um those that like the ones that was top at their positions. Like we got to get these guys in, and the fact that people are just going to be waiting for reasons that kind of don't logistically make sense when you have the ability to change it, just put them in, man. Like,
Yeah, because I feel like with some of these guys, like we talked about it with Mongo, they waited until he got sick to finally put him in,
yeah,
and it's like this man had been waiting for years and years and years, and it's like if you thought he was a Hall of Famer, why not put him in? 30, 40 years ago when he
yeah, he's a
retired.
definitely a Hall of Fame personality for sure.
Yeah,
So I mean, it is what it is, man. He definitely, I think, should. I think he might even be in the WWE Hall of Fame. They might have put him in the Hall of Fame before the NFL did. So just come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? But these are the problems. But I do want to say one thing, just so you could just stay on this real quick. It was already down to 16, right?
yeah.
Right, and now we found out pretty much Eli and Bill ain't getting in. I wouldn't be surprised if something gets vetoed and Bill gets in for like the uproar that's going on, because the NFL spoke back against it and kind of, I don't think they was even feeling it. So there might be, we might get duped and we might hear that day that he gets put in. But let's just stick to what we're hearing. Take them two off the list. That's down to 14 players. That means that six more gotta go. Read, you got the list in front of you?
Let me pull it up.
Yep. Because before we jump,
While I'm looking that up though,
yeah,
what about Eli? A lot of people feel like I heard somebody say that Kurt Warner had to wait 3 years, so Eli's probably gonna wait 3 years too.
I mean, Eli. Either way, Eli's not gonna. There's not been nowhere near any backlash for anybody to override that one. I don't think he's a Hall of Fame quarterback to begin with.
Only people complaining is just Giants fans.
Yeah, only Giants fans. It is what it is. He'll get in when he's supposed to get in.
All right, so the nominees left are Drew Brees. It says Eli, but we know he's not getting in.
Yeah,
Frank Gore, Fred Taylor, Larry Fitzgerald,
I don't think
Torrey
Frank
Holt,
or Taylor get in, but go ahead.
yeah, Larry Fitzgerald, Torrey Holt, Reggie Wayne, Jason Witten, um, Willie Anderson, Terrell Suggs, Luke Kuechly, Kevin Williams, Darren Woodson, Adam Vinatieri, and then they added L.C. Greenwood, Ken Anderson, Roger Craig, who played back in the '80s, was part of that Niners dynasty, and then Robert Kraft was added. And so, out of all those names, they're gonna pick at least says between 4 to 8 people will get in.
That's ridiculous.
So the max is 8, but they could select fewer than 8.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't think Holt, Wayne, Fitz, any of those guys get in, because I think that they're gonna load this up with those like Roger Craig and all them other old guys. They're gonna get them in, Greenwood, all them. Probably gonna veto, get Belichick in. This a lot of these guys are gonna just get sent right back to the. It's crazy that they make it down to the top 14 just for them to add 7, 8 more people.
But the one that gets me though is Robert Kraft. Maybe you could speak on this more than I can because you live in the area. But what has he done to say he's a Hall of Famer? Like I know he's the owner. I know he's won 6 Super Bowls, but as the owner, what is it that he does besides write the check?
Well, I guess what they're gonna, in their defense, they're gonna say is if a owner is Hall of Fame worthy, right? And this is a big if in my. I mean, I don't see what they have to do with it really, but if a owner is Hall of Fame worthy, I guess his trajectory would make sense. When he bought the Patriots, they wasn't worth nowhere near what they're worth now, and they didn't have no rings. So, I mean, he bought them. He made them one of the most valuable teams in the NFL. He hired arguably the best coach in NFL history, and and he got mad rings to go with it. So I'm not necessarily saying I agree with them adding him, but I'm gonna say if there is a owner that's Hall of Fame worthy, I guess these are the what you would be the things you're looking at.
It's like the only owner that I know of that is like in the Hall of Fame is Al Davis, but Al Davis actually had an impact on the sport of football.
Yeah,
He started out as the commissioner of the AFL,
yeah,
which was the league that challenged the NFL, which led to the merger. So, and then Al Davis obviously instrumental on the success of the Oakland slash LA Raiders.
and John
So, I
Madden.
mean, Al Davis, it made sense, but Robert Kraft, at least from the outside anyway, he didn't have the impact of as an owner that Al Davis had with the Raiders.
Yeah, no,
And
he's also more behind scenes and laid back than Al Davis. Like Al Davis is more like a personality.
yeah,
Um, I don't know. I don't understand the Rob Kraft. I guess it could be one of those things where he's getting old as well. But this the problem. I think it's getting to the point where it's like everybody has to wait till they're old now because you always got to prioritize making sure you get the old guys in. Just put them in. Like you should have put them. You should have announced last week. Like think like I know obviously WWE is a little bit it's entertainment. It's not the same thing. But my thing is this. Do you think people will have a problem if you got your 16 finalists and it's like, all right, we're gonna knock it down to 8. And when it gets to 8, this is gonna be a Hall of Fame list, but let you know in advance. Elsie Greenwood, Roger Craig, Bill Belichick, and all
and then
these people they're already in. Like these are the people you're picking for. These people are already in. How hard is it? Like it shouldn't it really shouldn't be this hard. It shouldn't. I just feel like the negativity brings in ratings and they kind of just the NFL fuse off some of that stuff. Not that not gonna get into conspiracies, but I know when bad calls happen, their engagement online is ridiculous. Like think about it.
well, yeah, and I think that's part of the reason why this got leaked because we don't know. Obviously, they've done the votes already, so we know the results. That the fact that Belichick and Eli's not getting in, but they leaked those two names for a reason
And,
because we
and
don't know anybody else who's not getting in off that list.
that it also could be a pump fake. Like someone could have leaked that and come to find out this is why Bill Polian was laughing because he could be like, we all voted. He probably went back like Bill ain't getting in it. It was probably like, bro, we all voted for Bill. I don't know who the hell said that dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? So you just sometimes it's like you're right. If that's the case, how come you don't tell us the 8? I don't know. I would just take it with a grain of salt. Because to me, I want to believe it's not true because it would make zero sense for Bill Belichick to not be a first ballot Hall of Famer. It would literally make zero sense.
Okay, but if you want clicks though, why leak Eli? That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, but what
He's
I'm
not
saying,
he's gonna like get clicks.
maybe this wasn't them. No, the reason why I say that is because the two names that they named is just a coincidence that Eli took 2 rings from Bill.
Yeah.
So maybe this is more like somebody thought it would be funny leaking this, and it took on like a life of its own. I just don't see how Bill don't get in. I still even hearing that whole list, I believe he gets in.
Yeah. Well, um I thought Bill I mean he might be right, but I don't know. I think they might make him wait.
They could, they could. I'm put it like this. I won't believe it until they announce it the list without him. When they do that, I think it will set in because I just feel like this is like this is WWE shit right here. Like we're getting hit with the pump fake story. Like it doesn't make sense. If he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, nobody on that list deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. So
Yeah,
what are
that
we voting for?
that includes Drew Brees, Larry
That includes
Fitzgerald.
everybody.
Yeah,
Everybody. None of you are Hall of Famers if Bill isn't. Like the only thing I would think is maybe him and it, maybe for like a PR thing, maybe the NFL wants Bill and Brady to go in together. I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying, when is Brady eligible? It takes what, 5 years?
yeah, he's not eligible until 2028.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like
I
I have no
mean, I don't wish death on nobody, but I'm just saying with Bill's age, there's no guarantee he'll be here in 2028. So to
idea.
me, to make him wait, it doesn't make sense.
To keep it 100, the NFL Hall of Fame proves every year that they don't care about your age or you dying before you get in.
Well, yeah, I mean, we just talked about LC Greenwood. He's dead, but they're fighting to get him in.
Yep, but they wasn't fighting to get him in when he was alive.
Nah,
You see the problem? It's like,
that-
come on, bro, fix that. Just fix that so nobody needs to complain. But anything else you wanna touch on this subject?
nah, that's it, man. I agree with what you said that we need to get these guys in. It doesn't make sense that all of a sudden these guys who played back in the 70s and 80s, we're now all of a sudden trying to make a push to get them in. You got guys dying off, and now all of a sudden you want to put him in. Like you said, why not put him in when he was still alive?
Yeah, like where was
LC
the fight
Greenwood,
before?
yeah, LC Greenwood played back in the 70s. He died in the 2010s, so you had a good 30, 40 years to put him in before he died. You never did it.
Yeah,
And then Roger Craig, he's still with us, but no, again, he played back in the 80s. So you've had 30 plus years, and we haven't even talked about Darren Woodson, who played in the 90s. No, is he going to get in?
I'd say
No,
like this: Roger Craig should have been in the Hall of Fame, and this is why when I look at these things, it's like fight for them while they're alive to get them in there. Don't don't fight for them when they're dead and prevent people that's alive from going in. Like that, it just doesn't make sense to me.
and all I'll say about Roger Craig is that Marshall Faulk was in the Hall of Fame when he was playing. They said that he was his generation, Roger Craig. So that if you the guy who emulated Roger Craig's in the Hall of Fame, why isn't the OG in the Hall of Fame already?
Yo, listen, man. I don't, like I said, I don't know. Some of these, it's like they played games with To. They just kind of pick and choose who they play
Yeah,
games
they
with,
made Theo wait 3 years.
and some of these guys, to be truthful, I think they just forget about them. Like it's almost like they forget about them, and then like 10 years go by, and then 20 years later, it's like, whoa, we didn't put him in. We got to push now. It's like, what the hell? Where'd that come from?
Well, like some of these, like again going back to LC Greenwood and even Roger Craig to a certain extent. How many of these voters even were alive to watch those guys play?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I imagine some of these voters are probably like our age.
Yeah,
And I
we
mean, me personally, I never watched Roger Craig play, and I damn sure didn't watch LC Greenwood play. So I mean, how knowledgeable are they are about these players? Same thing with Ken Anderson. You know, he played during the 70s and early 80s. No, so I mean, how many people actually watched them play?
Yeah, I watched like maybe like a little bit of Roger Craig, but I didn't watch any of those other guys play. I mean,
Yeah, I
so
mean, you weren't even thought of in the
it's
70s.
like, bro, and it's like nobody really goes back and pulls up tape of the 60s and 70s. You know what I'm saying, like a lot of kids nowadays never even seen Michael Jordan. Like one game, they couldn't tell you one full game of Michael Jordan. Like
A lot of these
nobody
kids,
does that type of stuff.
yeah, a lot of these kids, if anything that didn't anything before like 2010, it
Yeah.
never happened.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you got people like Jim Jones and stuff online now just rewriting history. It is
Yeah,
what it is. I respect it because the young ones out there that don't know anything, they take everything you say and they run with it. And that's how people just create different stories for themselves. It is what it is. But with that being said, if anybody's tired like me, scan that QR code, go on over, get yourself some WFG with the code MOBS508. It'll give you 10% off all purchases. Don't forget to like and subscribe on the video. Also leave some comments that will help out the algorithm for us. But anything else you want to throw out there, bro?
Nah, man, just make sure you listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, or Amazon Music.
Absolutely. Well, let's get up out of here and head for another day, my brother.
All right, man, get some rest.
Yes, sir.